Good evening, Unity on the Bay, and happy Monday. Welcome to Shelf Discovery. You know, from time to time, I like to remind us, myself included, as to how we came up with the title for this program. It's because behind me, there's a bookshelf that has little gems and pearls of some of the greatest spiritual authors that have ever lived. And what we do on Shelf Discovery is we discover some of what's on that shelf. We've been working for a few weeks now with this little book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by someone you might know. He's a good friend of Unity on the Bays, Deepak Chopra. And I marvel at how much information, how much insight and depth Deepak was able to put into this little book. It's just a quick read, but it's not really a quick read, because if you take it in small doses, what you find is that there's one gem after another, and each of these gems is really worthy of your own personal contemplation. So we're going to explore some of those tonight in the next 30 minutes. Good evening, Geeta. I'm very happy that you're here, as always. Thank you. Our law of attraction guru is Geeta. And it's wonderful to have you here. If you're here tonight, please let me know by posting something in the chat. Hello, Marina. Glad you're here. This is an interactive program, so I am as interested, if not more interested, in hearing your reactions and your responses and your insights that come as we review this material than I am in the material itself, because I really do believe that we are all one another's teachers and students, and we play different roles at different times, but both are significant and important in the spiritual journey. One could even say, good evening, Pam. I'm glad that you're here tonight. One could even say that everyone in our life is a teacher for us. They're either extending love to us or they're extending a call to love to us. When we begin to realize that, we recognize that people that show up in our world aren't just there by happenstance. They're there as part of the divine orchestration of our spiritual awakening, as sometimes referred to as our return home. So I'm glad you're all here tonight to join me as we return home. And again, let me know you're here by posting something in the chat. It's the only way I know you're here. And then keep on posting as our time together this evening continues, with your comments, your ideas, and your thoughts about the material that we're covering. Tonight, we are entering into, I'll tell you in just a minute because I forget what number it is, the 4th spiritual law of success, which is the law of least effort. The law of least effort. Hi, Kali, glad you're here. Greetings from Seattle, from Seattle, and to Seattle. Hey, Cindy Bender. It's great to be a part of this awakened community. I'll tell you what, we're getting more awake every day, aren't we, Cindy? And you and I have had the pleasure and the privilege of sort of waking up together for many years now. And I'm always grateful to see you as a part of Shelf Discovery. So again, tonight we're on the 4th spiritual law for success, the law of least effort. And I'll delve into it. There's 3 points that I'd like to make sure we cover tonight, but we'll see how it goes. You know, we always play this program by ear as we go through it, which is really kind of the way we live life. You know, we always think we have so many plans and schemes and directions lined up for our lives, and yet the reality is that life is a mystery continually unfolding right before our eyes. So thanks for being a part of opening our eyes together. Yes, we are on the journey together, my dear, and I can't think of any finer companion. So let's take a look at what Deepak has to say about this law of least effort. And before I get into this, just let me say briefly that in these 7 spiritual laws of success, what we find is a lot of information that it's all relevant to the law, but it covers a very broad spectrum. So as we go into this, keep that in mind. He says, this is on page 54, in Vedic science, the age-old philosophy of India, this principle is known as the principle of economy of effort. Economy of effort, or, quote, do less and accomplish more, unquote. Do less and accomplish more. Does that sound good to you? We really do spend a lot of our time, don't we, doing a lot. And a lot of our doing has to do with what's happening out on the screen of our lives, as opposed to what's happening in the internal chemistry, if you will, of our own consciousness. And the reason that that is not always very effective is because we're dealing with effects. When we're dealing with anything outside of us, we're dealing with the world of effects. It's only when we move into, sort of probe into our own consciousness, that is the thoughts, the feelings, the experiences that we have, our perspective and our perception, that we start to get to the source. We're not dealing then with the realm of effects as we would if we're trying to do something out in the world or even do something with ourselves. We're working on the internal level, which is the level or the realm of cause. So he says we can do less and accomplish more. That sounds good to me. Ultimately, you come to the state where you do nothing and accomplish everything. Scratch your head over that one. We do nothing, and yet we accomplish everything. This means that there is just a faint idea, and then the manifestation of the idea comes about effortlessly. What is commonly called a miracle is actually an expression of the law of least effort. Just because we didn't do something per se to make it happen, and it shows up in a seemingly perhaps miraculous way, it still comes back to this understanding that we have in some way shifted our internal dynamic in a way that inevitably must impact or affect the world of effects. So what is commonly called a miracle is actually an expression of the law of least effort. Nature's intelligence, he says, functions effortlessly. This reminded me of Reverend Juan's great talk yesterday morning at Unity on the Bay when he was talking about biomimicry, I believe is the term. That is looking to nature and examining how it operates and employing that into our own lives. In many ways, I think we've kind of gotten away from nature because we've become so technologically obsessed that we forget the importance of the simplicity of spending a few moments in nature and learning from those moments, observing how nature, the natural world around us, operates. And Deepak's going to go on to say that the way nature operates is effortless, frictionless, and spontaneous. It is non-linear. It is non-linear. Now, for some of us, myself included, that is a challenge in itself, to understand life from a non-linear perspective. In other words, we always think of things sequentially, and we think of things in terms of external order and efficiency. And what this is saying is that if you observe nature, you find that there's an effortless, frictionless, spontaneous way of being that is non-linear. It is intuitive, holistic, and nourishing. Cindy, thank you. I was thinking how natural it is that when you smile at someone, they smile back. That's nature. Thank you, Cindy. Yes, it's spontaneous. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to strategize with it. You simply have to become aware of it and cooperate with it and let it cooperate with you, which it's always, I believe, longing to do. And when you are in harmony with nature, when you are established in the knowledge of your true self, you can make use of the law of least effort. Just throw in a comment here, and see what you think. I'm interested to know what you think about this, is that we have become so programmed into believing that we have to set objectives, goals, and aims in our life, and then we have to work diligently, persistently toward the achievement of those goals or those ambitions. So it's driven by our desire toward accomplishment and believing that we are responsible for that process between, one could say, an intuitive hit and its actual manifestation in the world around us. And what Deepak's telling us here is that process, that laborious process, is is the byproduct of our conditioned nature. And in our original nature, as made by God, life is intended to be effortless. He says, least effort is expended, and this is really valuable. Least effort is expended when your actions are motivated by love, because nature is held together by the energy of love. When you seek power and control over other people, you waste energy. When you seek money or power for the sake of the ego, you spend energy chasing the illusion of happiness instead of enjoying happiness in the moment. When you seek money for personal gain only, you cut off the flow of energy to yourself and interfere with the expression of nature's intelligence. I like that because it's not just about our intelligence or our ingenuity or our strategy. It's about realizing there is a divine orchestration unfolding before our eyes in every moment. And we can begin to become conscious of that and then seek, as I said before, to cooperate with it, to leverage it, in fact, to our benefit, to allow our lives to become much less stressful. I'll even say much less preoccupied with accomplishment, which doesn't mean that we're not going to accomplish anything. It just means that's not going to be our aim. Our aim is going to be present in the current moment, the current instant, and tap into the energy of love. And again, you could say leverage that energy toward whatever it is that is going to bring about the fulfillment of the desires and the dreams of our hearts. When your actions are motivated by love, there is no waste of energy. When your actions are motivated by love, your energy multiplies and accumulates, and the surplus of energy you gather and enjoy can be channeled to create anything you want, including unlimited wealth. Pam, New Moon Saturday, going to make a wish list and send it out to the universe. Absolutely, leverage, capitalize on the momentum that is taking place around us in the stars, in the planets, in the leaves on the trees, in the ocean, in the highest peaks of the mountains. Observe how these things, these natural experiences around us are taking place, and learn and grow from it and seek to mimic it. I love that term that Juan gave us yesterday, biomimicry. When your actions are motivated by love, your energy multiplies and accumulates. The surplus energy you gather and enjoy can be channeled to create anything that you want, including unlimited wealth. Now, he says then that there are three components to this law of least effort. Three things you can put into principle. Three things you can do to put this principle of do less and accomplish more into action. The first component is acceptance. Now listen to these three components with me, because they're full of valuable information and insight. First component is acceptance. Acceptance simply means that you make a commitment. Today, I will accept people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur. I will accept them. Doesn't even necessarily say or mean that we have to like them or love them, but we have to accept all things as they are. This means I will know that this moment is as it should be. This moment is as it should be, because the whole universe is as it should be. This moment, the one you're experiencing right now, is the culmination of all the moments you have experienced in the past. This moment is as it is because the entire universe is as it is. So this is like giving ourselves a break, don't you think? It's only, see, when you accept everything and everybody that's happening outside of you, then you lose your preoccupation. I love what Goldsmith says. When your thought is out here on time, space, form, and matter, You are not centering yourself in the awareness of God's presence within you. We get preoccupied with these appearances because we don't like the way that they are rolling in our lives, and then we try our best to change them. Well, it means our focus is out here in the world around us, trying to change, manipulate, or whatever is going on out here. That's very laborious, and oftentimes it's not so fruitful. Because again, we're dealing in the realm of effects. The least effort in life comes from being able to recognize how much more efficient it is to go into our own consciousness. So this acceptance of what's going on outside of us is, from my perspective, just sort of saying, I let it be what it is. And I trust that what it is not only okay, but that within it is what I need to make the next step in my own spiritual evolution. Gita says, we are not living by human laws. We have to utilize the leverage of energy. Yes. And energy has its origins, I believe, in our own consciousness and our own thinking. Thank you, Gita. I really appreciate that comment. We are not living by human laws. We have been conditioned to believe that we are living by human laws. Human laws are very laborious, requiring lots of effort, blood, sweat, and tears. And if you think about it, would a truly benevolent and loving God set us up to an obstacle course that exhausts us? Some of us are exhausted every day because we haven't been able to tap into this realization of the source of all things coming from our own mind and our own heart. And once again, I've completely lost track of where I was. Acceptance simply means that you make a commitment. Today, I will accept all people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur. This means I will know that this moment is as it should be because the whole universe is as it should be. When you struggle against this moment, you're actually struggling against the entire universe. Take that in for a minute. When you struggle against this moment, when you resist it, when you push it away, when you try to deny it, you're struggling against the entire universe. Instead, you can make the decision that today you will not struggle against the whole universe by struggling against this moment. This means that your acceptance of this moment is total and complete. You accept things as they are, not as you wish they were in this moment. This also eliminates all lament and all regret, because the moment is what it is. You accept it, you don't regret it, and you don't resist it. This is important to understand. He says you can wish for things in the future to be different, but in this moment, you have to accept things as they are. How you doing with that one? On a good day, no problem. I accept all things as they are. On a day when things are not rolling according to my prescribed idea and ideals, it's a different story to find myself in a state of complete acceptance. Now, this leads to the second component of the law of least effort, which is responsibility. And this is a big one that I sometimes have a love-hate relationship with, because it's about taking responsibility for our experiences in life. What does responsibility mean? He says, responsibility means not blaming anyone or anything for your situation, including yourself. It's one thing to sort of let everybody else off the hook, but we can still go on beating ourselves up, blaming ourselves for situations we don't like in life. This is about completely releasing ourselves from blame altogether. Having accepted this circumstance, this event, this problem, responsibility then means the ability. Responsibility means the ability to have a creative response to the situation as it is now. So I accept the situation, whether I like it or not, whether it's moving in the direction that I think it should, or that I wanted it to, or that it ought to, and looking for the way in which I could respond creatively to the situation as it is now. And the exciting thing about this is we begin to realize that situations, whether we like them or not, whether they're going by our prescription or not, always contain opportunities. It's that old thing of, you can define something as a problem or you can define it as an opportunity. So we're releasing our judgment. That's really what this comes down to. We're releasing our judgment of the present moment and opening our minds and our hearts to find out what's in it for us. What's the opportunity? What's the possibility in the current moment? And if you're struggling with the current moment or fighting with it, you're not going to be able to find the possibility, the opportunity that's within us. All problems contain the seeds of opportunity, and this awareness allows you to take the moment and transform it into a better situation or thing. So I give up resistance, not putting my energy into resistance. Now I have a lot more energy because, friends, nothing is more energy consuming than resistance in life. So now we've let that resistance go. We have freed up energy with which we can invest our attention and our intention in what's the opportunity to transform the present situation and make it into a better thing. Once you do this, every so-called upsetting situation will become an opportunity for the creation of something new and beautiful. And every so-called tormentor or tyrant will become your teacher. Take that in for a minute. You have any torment going on? You have tormentors in your life? You have tyrants in your life? Well, this is the way to turn them into your teacher, turning torment and tyrant into teacher. Reality is an interpretation. And if you choose to interpret reality in this way, you'll have many, I'm exaggerating here a bit, you will have many teachers around you. In fact, you'll begin to realize that everybody and everything, every person in every situation is here to serve as your teachers. And with that comes many opportunities to evolve. So now that we are completely accepting, all of us right now in this moment, right? And we've taken full responsibility for our lives, we have the third component of the law of least effort, which is defenselessness. I love the line from A Course in Miracles, "In my defenselessness, my safety lies." And Byron Katie, when she says, the first act of war is not attack, but defense. This means that your awareness is established in defenselessness, and you have relinquished the need to convince or persuade others of your point of view. Just try with me going through a single day and seek not to convince or persuade anybody of your point of view. Just realize that it's enough for you to be in your point of view and live from your point of view without trying to win converts or to convince other people your point of view is better than theirs. A lot of energy and time goes into that kind of thing, my friends. I speak from the voice of experience. If you observe people around you, you'll see that they spend 99% of their time defending their points of view. 99% of their time defending their points of view. Imagine what would happen if you stopped defending your point of view and put your energy and your attention into taking your point of view, living in integrity with it. And then instead of trying to convince anybody of your point of view, living from it, you give them the demonstration of an individual who's walking through life from a position of integrity, which is very, very powerful. You don't really need to convince anybody except perhaps yourself. And I wonder often how much of our trying to convince other people of our point of view is really just a camouflaged effort to convince ourselves of our own point of view. Because if we get enough people around us saying, yeah, your point of view is superior, it's better, it may feel good, and it may help to reinforce our belief in our own point of view. But that's about as far as that goes. Christina, hi, Christina. Thanks for being here. Integrity. And integrity for me doesn't have anything to do with another person. I'll just throw that in. Integrity for me has only to do with me being in integrity with myself. And if I'm doing that, then I don't have to be as concerned about being in integrity with everybody else. And Gita says the universal law states I don't need to defend, explain, or justify myself. Let's just take that in, Gita, because I think that's very true. Universal law states I don't need to defend, explain, or justify myself. Because if we're standing in the certainty, my friends, of who we are, of what we are, there's no need to convince anybody of anything. Once we've convinced ourselves, we have the power to be able to move quite effectively into this world without defense. If you just relinquish the need to defend your point of view, you will, in that relinquishment, gain access to enormous amounts of energy that have been previously wasted. See, we live in the midst of infinite invisible energy, I believe. What are we doing with that energy? Are we utilizing it in ways that really serve and support us and help us fulfill our role in the world that makes life on this planet better for everybody? Relinquishing the investment of so much energy in that sort of thing frees up phenomenal levels. You know, if you get home at night and you feel like you're really tired, wiped out, you might want to take a look at this formula. You know, was I accepting of circumstances in my world today? Did I take responsibility for the circumstances that I experienced today? And did I remain defenseless in my interactions with other individuals? These are all what you could call energy leaks. He wraps it up, and we don't want to leak out any energy. We want all the energy we can have to work toward our own enlightenment and the enlightenment of people on this planet. He closes by saying, if you embrace the present and become one with it and merge with it, you will experience a fire, a glow, a sparkle of ecstasy throbbing in every living sentient being. Sound too good to be true? I don't think it is. I will not say I go through every day of my life in that mental framework, but I can feel it happening more every day. Hi, Nancy. Defense gives illusions full reality. It adds illusions to illusions. Yes, because how do you justify an illusion except by offering other illusions? And we're trying to break out of the illusory realm to the best of our ability so that we can be in integrity with our spiritual identity, our spiritual nature. As you begin to experience the exaltation of spirit in everything that is alive, as you become intimate with it, joy will be born within you, and you will drop the terrible burdens and encumbrances of defensiveness, resentment, and hurtfulness. Only then will you become lighthearted, carefree, joyous, and free. Thank you, Deepak. You know, this is a great little book that we've been exploring, and we're going to continue to be with it for the next few weeks. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and brought to us by really one of the greatest spiritual spokespersons, I guess I could use that title, of our time, Deepak Chopra. Thanks, my friends, for being with me. Thanks for sharing your wisdom tonight. Always a pleasure to share a few minutes on a Monday evening with you. We'll be back again next week for the next of the spiritual laws of success, which is the 5th law, the law of intention and desire. My intention and desire for you tonight is to have a wonderful evening. Have a great week ahead. Love you with all my heart. And thank you so much for sharing these precious moments with me on Monday evenings as self-discovery continues. Have a blessed evening. Much love to you. Bye for now.